Imagine this scenario. You've built the perfect sanctuary. The lighting is warm, the treatment rooms smell like lavender and expensive serums, and your team is trained to perfection. You post a photo of this paradise on Instagram, sit back and wait for the phone to ring. And you wait and wait. Why is it that sometimes the best kept secrets in the beauty industry stay, secrets?
That is the nightmare scenario, isn't it? The field of dreams fallacy. If you build it, they will come. Unfortunately, in the digital age, if you build it, nobody knows you exist unless you tell them. And sometimes whispering politely isn't enough. You need a megaphone.
Exactly. We are moving into Module 7 today, and it's the topic that makes a lot of salon owners sweaty. Paid ads and promotions. It feels like a gamble, doesn't it? Like walking into a casino with your hard-earned revenue.
It often feels that way, but that's usually because people are playing the slots instead of counting cards. Paid advertising isn't about gambling. It's about buying data and buying speed. Think of your organic content, your daily posts, your community building as a campfire. It's warm, it keeps the people gathered around it happy, but paid ads, that's the gasoline you pour on the fire to make it a beacon that people can see from miles away.
I love that image. But let's be real. Gasoline is dangerous if you don't know how to handle it. You can burn the whole forest down. Or in this case, burn through your bank account.
Precisely. And that's why the core philosophy here isn't spend more, it's spend smarter. This module emphasizes that paid ads are not a replacement for organic growth. If your service is bad or your brand has no soul, ads will just help more people find that out faster. Ads are an accelerator. They amplify what is already there.
So before we even open the ads manager, we need a plan. The source material mentions the SMART framework. It sounds a bit corporate, but how does that apply to a local beauty salon?
It's crucial because I want more clients is not a goal, that's a wish. A SMART goal is I want 30 new facial bookings in the next 4 weeks. When you get that specific, the ad writes itself. If you need facial bookings, you don't run a generic ad about your reception area. You run an ad about skin hydration.
Right. And that leads us to the different types of ads. I think a lot of people get stuck on the boost post button because it's right there. It's tempting. It gives you that little dopamine hit when the view count goes up. But is that a strategy?
Boosting a post is like throwing flyers out of a car window while driving down the highway. Some might hit people, sure, but it's mostly for visibility, vanity metrics. If you want real business results, you need to look at traffic ads, lead generation ads, or conversion ads. These are designed to actually make people do something, not just look and scroll.
So we're moving from look at me to book me. But to get them to book, we have to target the right people. This is where it gets a little, let's say, big brother.
It is a little intense when you realize the power at your fingertips. You can target by location, age, interests, even behaviors. But let's flip the perspective. It's not about stalking, it's about relevance. If you have a solution for teenage acne, showing that ad to a 60-year-old woman looking for anti-aging lifting treatments is a waste of everyone's time. Good targeting is actually a form of empathy. You are identifying a specific person with a specific problem. Maybe they want confidence, maybe they want relaxation, and you are saying, hey, I can help with that.
That's a much healthier way to look at it. You're the matchmaker. But even if you find the right person, you have to say the right thing. Let's talk about the creative, the visuals and the words. I see so many salons using stock photos of models with impossible skin.
That is the quickest way to kill trust. In the beauty industry, authenticity is the currency. People want to see real results on real skin. They want to see the texture. They want to see the glow. If you use a stock photo, you're telling the client, I don't have any work of my own worth showing.
Ouch, but fair.
And the copy, the text, needs to shift focus. Salon owners love to list features. We use a hydrodermabrasion machine with 5 levels of suction. The client doesn't care about the suction levels. They care about the result. Don't sell the drill, sell the hole in the wall, or in this case, don't sell the facial, sell the fact that they won't need to wear foundation next week.
Perfect brows, no pencil needed. That's one of the examples given. It's so simple, but it hits the pain point immediately.
Exactly. It saves them time. It solves a morning frustration. That is value. And once you've hooked them with that benefit, you need a clear call to action. Tell them what to do. Humans are surprisingly passive online. If you don't say book now or claim offer, they will just keep scrolling.
Let's pivot to the scary part: money, budgeting. There's a fear that you need thousands of dollars to even start.
That is a myth. You can start with the price of 2 coffees a day, $10 or $20. The algorithm is a machine learning tool. It needs data to learn. If you throw a huge budget at it on day one, it doesn't know who to look for yet. You start small, let it run for 5 to 7 days, and watch what happens. It's like fishing. You don't cast a giant net immediately, you test the waters.
And you have to be patient. I think people turn ads off after 24 hours if the phone hasn't rung.
That's the worst thing you can do. You're killing the process just as it's starting to learn.
Now, there is a very specific and very serious section in this module regarding the Australian context. We're talking about compliance, AHPRA, and the TGA. This isn't just about marketing, this is about the law.
This is where the beauty industry intersects with the medical industry, and the lines are very strict in Australia. You cannot make guaranteed claims. You cannot say cures acne permanently. You cannot use testimonials that imply a guaranteed biological result.
It feels restrictive, doesn't it?
It is, but for a good reason. It protects the consumer from snake oil, but it also protects the salon owner. If you promise a result you can't biologically guarantee, you are setting yourself up for a lawsuit and a ruined reputation. Ethical advertising builds long-term trust. If you are honest about what is achievable, the clients you attract will be realistic and loyal. If you lie to get them in the door, they will leave angry.
It brings up a philosophical point about the industry. Are we selling hope in a jar, or are we selling professional care? The compliance rules force us to be care providers first and salespeople second.
That's beautifully put. It forces integrity. And frankly, in a market saturated with filters and Facetune, honesty is actually a competitive advantage. Showing a real before and after with proper consent that shows a 30% improvement. That is more powerful than a fake photo showing 100% perfection.
So we've run the ad, we've stayed legal, we've spent our coffee money. How do we know if it worked? It's not just about did I feel busy.
Feelings are not metrics. You need to look at the dashboard. What is your cost per click? What is your conversion rate? If you spent $50 and got one booking worth $150, that's a win. If you spent $150 to get a $50 booking, you have a problem.
But even a failed ad is useful, right?
There is no such thing as a wasted ad, only paid education. If an ad flops, it told you something. Maybe the image was boring, maybe the offer wasn't compelling, maybe you targeted the wrong suburb. You take that data, you tweak it, and you go again. That is the scientific method applied to beauty.
It's a cycle. Test, measure, refine.
And remember, this is about momentum. When you combine paid ads with that organic community we discussed in previous modules, you create a flywheel effect. The ads bring strangers in, your content turns them into friends, your service turns them into loyalists.
It's the ecosystem. The ads are just the invitation to the party.
Exactly. And looking ahead, as we move toward automation and analytics, in the next module, this becomes even more important. Because once you turn that tap on and the leads start flowing, you need systems to handle them. Otherwise, you're just drowning in opportunity with no way to catch it.
That's a great teaser for Module 8. It really highlights that running a salon isn't just about being good with your hands anymore. You have to be a data analyst, a creative director, and a legal compliance officer all wrapped in one.
It's demanding, but it's also empowering. You aren't at the mercy of word of mouth anymore. You have a control panel for your business growth. That is a powerful place to be.
A control panel for growth. I like that. It takes the mystery out of it. It's not magic, it's mechanics.
Mechanics with a touch of art.
Well, for all our listeners, it's time to look at your budget, check those compliance guidelines, and maybe, just maybe, spend that first $10.
Make it count.
We'll see you in the next session where we organize the chaos. Until then, happy creating.